Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's Favorites podcast, Favorites channel, Favorites everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt. Also, pandasups.com, TDL for 35% off. All right, guys. So we're here. We're doing some free agency. We got to go back and forth until March 11th, right? And then we got to cover free agency to ruin our draft coverage. Yeah. So, to keep us from diving into prospects, we got to have the free agency. Was it March 11th? Right after the combine, we're gonna have to break down some random guys. So,
absolutely have to.
we do. We got to do it. Yeah. So. Wait a minute. What you say?
I was just gonna say, no, you're good. I don't have anything to add.
All right. Yeah, so we're here. So we know we're mixing it up. We're doing free agency right now, and then of course we do some draft this weekend. Get back into that. Then we got the combine, not this week, but the following week after that, and we'll do some draft stuff before we get that going too as well. So yeah, so a lot of content coming your way, guys. But today we're doing free agency, and we're getting really sexy here with Matt. He's doing Chris Jones. And I'm keeping it really boring doing Lloyd Cushenberry from the center.
This is the most exciting, man. We're just staying in the trenches today. This is the sexy part of football right here. This is what people come to see.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, we're staying in the trenches today. Not really much going on besides really nothing.
Got the O-line coach. I'm drawing a blank on his first name, and his last name is Craig, right?
Yeah, he's James Craig. James Craig is the new O-line coach. He's hired from the San Francisco 49ers. So, I guess they're waiting on him, I guess. But the thing about him is he was the offensive line coach at LSU. That's why I'm doing Lloyd Cushenberry, because I think that automatic connection came right to my head. I was like, oh, wow, that's a big one, because they won the Joe Moore Award with he had Sadiq Charles, Damian Lewis, and Lloyd Cushenberry on that offensive line. So, I think Damian Lewis is still on the Seahawks, right? He's still a guard for the Seahawks.
I think all three guys are free agents, or how their contracts are about to expire, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But that's that type of offensive line that he brought to the NFL. All those guys are NFL players. Lloyd Cushenberry, who I'm covering today, has become a pretty good NFL player. He's kind of grown into becoming a really good center, and somebody that could replace Andre James for sure. But it's his first offensive line job, so we're going to learn a lot about him on the fly.
Yeah, with you're talking about Craig, right?
Yeah, Craig. Yeah.
Yeah, in the NFL, yeah, because like you said, he was the O-line coach for LSU when they won the Natty in 2019 and set all those records. He's also the running game coordinator, and that's what made Clyde Edwards-Helaire a first round pick. Like it's part Clyde being able to contribute the passing game too. But yeah, that's I feel like that's got to be a good claim to fame, because as we've seen, Clyde is not quite the player we thought he was coming out of LSU. And like you said, 3 out of 5 dudes who end up going to the NFL. It's a pretty good hit rate. No, we'll take that every time. So, yeah. Also, he used to coach with the Raiders. He was somehow, I guess, he got attached to Lane Kiffin, because he was on Lane's staff with the Raiders. I don't think he might have been like an assistant O-line coach, and then Lane got fired, and Lane took him to Tennessee for that year, and then to USC. So,
okay,
interesting. Maybe you'll bring Lane Kiffin around if in the future. I don't know. We'll see.
Offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin.
There you go.
He's not leaving Ole Miss though, man. He's making them go 10-2 every year. Can't beat Alabama, but he's doing it over there at Ole Miss. So that's really the only interesting news we have right now. Chris Jones did try to ruin Matt's breakdown today.
I think I published it, and then 30 minutes later, he's all drunk at the podium talking about how he's not leaving. I'm like, oh, that's great. That makes me look. That's perfect timing on my part and your part, Chris.
Yeah, his agent saved you though, man. His agent.
I know. His agent was like, whoa, buddy. Yeah, Chris. Not only was Chris Jones like, yeah, I'm coming back. He's like, I'm coming back the year after that too. I'm like, oh, crap. Oh well, but yeah. Again, when the booze starts flowing and you're still feeling yourself in the Super Bowl, I think it's a little bit easier. But at some point, they got to put money on the table, and they got to pay Snead, who we went over a few weeks ago, and maybe might be getting the tag if they can't get a deal on it with him. So definitely think Chris Jones is a possibility. We'll see how it ends up working out.
Yeah, Chris Jones is gonna be expensive. I mean, that's gonna be what, 30 million?
I think PFF had predicted it somewhere around there. Yeah, I mean, he's the top agent on PFF's list right now. So he's got leverage, but he's got quite a bit of leverage that he almost tried to ruin in 5 minutes during his speech. But
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, Chris Jones. He's gonna be super expensive. Now, the Raiders have the cap space for it, though. That's the thing. They have a lot of cap space, and in this day and age, we're giving out cash more than we're giving out salary cap, right? So they're probably giving them a lot of cash year one, year two, kind of keep that cap number down. Is when we get to the back half of it, is when we get a little bit of trouble. But I think he'll be on the back end of his career at that point too. Kind of like how Devontae's contract is playing out a little bit. Is how you would want to do with Chris Jones. But my thing with that is that you got to pay Max Crosby, you got to pay Evan Kuntz. So, but that's where Mark Davis and his $1 billion comes in, man. You got to give out some cash and kind of
I mean, Crosby's been paid already. Crosby's is signed for a while, and
but Matt, come on,
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, maybe we can get him drunk on or I guess he wouldn't be drunk on the podium. That was a terrible slip by me, but maybe we can get him to destroy some leverage later on.
I don't know, man. I just feel like because when he started complaining about getting traded or that whole thing started coming up, I just went and looked at his contract, and he gets paid less than like Khalil Mack and Rashawn Gary. Yeah, his agent has to be looking at that a little bit. And if they sign Chris Jones, I'm not saying he'd be mad because he'd be happy that they have Chris Jones next to him, but his agent probably be in his head like, hey,
I know he vouched for them signing Chris Jones, so you could always turn around and be like, well, hey, we got you what you wanted.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and then I don't know what they could do with Kuntz. They're probably not gonna pay him this year. I bet. I probably gonna see if he could duplicate that, but that's playing with fire too. So, but I think that's my guess. I doubt they are really gonna try to be that ahead of it and pay him early. They're gonna probably try to see if it's something he could do throughout a whole 17-game season first.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like. I could see them doing kind of what they did with like Darren Waller, where like they got ahead of it a little bit. Like Darren Waller, I think if I remember correctly, had like showed some promise, whatever. And then did he get a new deal like mid-season, or was it like right before his breakout season? I
Mid-season.
Yeah, was it mid-season? Okay, yeah, I could see something like that happening where like, okay, yeah, maybe they don't pay him this offseason, but if Kuntz starts out hot, then they just try and get ahead of it so he can't hit the market and go get a big deal somewhere else, or get more people involved in the negotiations to boost up his value or so that he gets more leverage and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, super interesting stuff. I mean, but besides that, there's really nothing else interesting. Antonio Pierce he was on the interview circuit, said it has a lot of quotes out there. There's ones about Aiden O'Connell people got excited about, and the Raiders are rumored to be trying to trade up to 1, which it's going to cost a lot to do that, man. So we haven't really talked about this on our show. So before we get into the film, what are your thoughts about trading up to 1? Like, do you feel like the Raiders could do that? Do they have the team to do it right now? And what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I do like. I would like to see them be aggressive, and like if they're like that hellbent, like, oh no, Caleb Williams is our guy. He's the guy that is gonna mask the problems that we're not gonna be able to fill. Then shoot your shot, go up and do it. I mean, the problem is what the Bears got for the number 1 pick last year was stupid. I mean, what was it, like 2-3 first-round picks, a 2nd-round pick, a stud receiver, and DJ Moore? Like they just had to give up so much. Where I'm like, damn, like that. Like I get where like the apprehension comes from of like that is a lot, and like not just like and like that is a lot and like franchise altering if this doesn't work out. Where like you're looking at the Panthers right now, where they have Bryce Young, who didn't look promising, wasn't what we thought he was going to be, and now they don't have a 1st-round pick to get him some help. and that's kind of where I get a little bit fearful of trading up. And I almost like the idea of moving to 3 better and just taking the getting one of those quarterback guys. But again, I've said it all along, like if they really believe that they're the quarterback, or whether it's Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, if that's the guy that's going to be able to solve their problems, like you got to go up and do it. Like you can't sit around and wait around for a quarterback. I mean, I think we were talking last time. Next year's class, like his quarterback class, is not exactly ideal, and I think the NFL, and I think reports about surface about that too, that the NFL thinks that the same way, and that's why there's going to be such an aggressive push for people to trade up to number 1. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on moving up that high?
I think they shouldn't move up that high early, because I think what happens is some of these teams, like the Panthers, right? The Panthers and even the Niners, they moved up really early, and the Niners gave up 3 first-round picks and a third and a whole bunch of picks they gave up to go up to 3, right? And the Panthers did the same thing. But then I went and looked at what the Texans did, because the Texans went from 12 to 3 on draft night, and they only gave up 2 first-round picks and like a 4th-round pick. So I think the Raiders have to be strategic with it if they're going to do it. I don't think they should do it like after the combine. Like, I don't think they should get greedy like that. I think they should wait until the draft, feel things out so they can get a better deal. Because I think the phone is talking, you're talking quicker, there's more thought process. There's just not like, let me rob you. Like the Panthers got robbed, right?
Yeah, and because you're literally on the clock. Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're on the clock. There's a lot of these quick conversations, and I think you can give up less to get up to where you want to get to, because we don't know how these guys are going to fall right now either. And I think you got to get a feel, because I watch Olu Fashion. I don't even know how to say his last name, but I watch Olu Fushanu, and I just don't believe that nobody's going to not take him in the top 5. I just don't believe it. So somebody's going to do it, right? So and I don't know if somebody might trade up for that. And there's things for these type of movement is not going to be just for a quarterback. So I think the Raiders have to fill it out on draft night. That's my thing, because I think if they do it too early, they're going to get robbed. They're going to get raided, just like the Panthers did, just like the Niners did. I don't even know how the Niners survived. The Niners just had such a great core already, and that core is stuck with them that they were able to survive it. But to be honest, man, I think watching them against the Chiefs, it just had 1 first-round pick. They just that talent. If they had 1 more first-round talent, I think they would have been, a little bit, take them over the level to beat the Chiefs. So those things they come back, but I think you have to be more strategic with it, and just don't do it at the combine. You're already trading up to 3, and you're giving up 3 first-round picks and a 2 second-round pick and all that stuff.
And then on the other end of that, if you do think they should wait, would you be okay with someone else leapfrogging you and end up making the deal, and them winding up not being able to make a deal at all? Are you saying would you want to do draft day or nothing, or would you be willing to risk getting leapfrogged by someone else in the interim?
Well, no, I see. My thing is, I would wait till draft night. I think, because I just how far back they are, and if you look at the history of being able to move up on draft night. From that far, even the Raiders, when they traded back with the Dolphins, I mean, Reggie McKenzie wasn't the greatest trade back guy, but it was just
that draft class was also awful.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
we all knew it. Yeah,
you know what I mean. But we didn't get 3 first-round picks for that. You know what I mean? I don't know what they got, but they didn't get that, and that was on draft night. So that's what I'm saying. I think when you do things and you make movement on draft night, as a little, just teams will allow you to move up for less. And then, because literally the Panthers have no draft picks, and they gave up a guy that Bryce Young could throw to.
Yeah, they could use right now.
It's a wide receiver. It really, that really wasn't a smart trade. So at the end of the day, that's what the Raiders have to do. They have to be strategic and figure out some of these things, and maybe be didn't the Eagles or some team moved up when the Eagles moved up to 2, they moved up to 6 first, I think, or something like that, and then they moved up to 2. I don't know, you'd have to be I
don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember, but you just have to be strategic. That's all my thing. I don't know. Yeah. All right, let's just get some film, man.
All right, so like I said, gonna dive into some Chris Jones tape. to be perfectly transparent, as far as him playing the run, I'm going to start off with a couple of run defense clips, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's not really his game anymore. It never really has been to that extent. And one thing I kind of noticed just from breaking down or watching this film, like we'll see a play here. I think this is early in the game. Like he's just like it's an effort thing with him. Like I watched this play and I'm like, and we'll watch the next one. Like this is pretty soft at the point of attack here, and he kind of just gets pinballed out of the way by this center Jason Myers. And I mean, one of the things the Chiefs like did a lot this year, if you probably noticed, is they would take him out of the game in running situations, especially early on. So again, not a guy that you're going to bring in to impact the run a little bit. But then this is a little bit later in the game, so a little bit more on the line. Like you see what he do, like just the effort. Like just watch the get off and like how much different he is at like point of contact, like right here, to be able to like set that edge and then force AJ Dillon to cut it back up. Again, not a great run defender, but kind of what the point I'm getting at here is when he has the effort and when he tries and when he wants it, he can be at least a factor here. We just can't have the other three guys getting washed into Chicago. But moving on to the fun stuff, the pass rush. One thing that I think looks like is pretty common theme with Chris Jones that we're going to see a lot in these clips is he's good at two things: working across the offensive lineman's face and using his hands. Like you can see that a lot with this tape here. I mean, this is just a beautiful, beautiful little hand swipe move here. What I like too is like this is a third down situation, so he's going to start in this little wider alignment, technically inside shade on the tackle, and that's going to force this right guard to work wide on him. As you can see, that's going to open up this rushing lane, give himself a little two-way go, and then boom. Nice little arm over two. Beats the hands, beat the man, and go get a hit on Jordan Love. See a similar rep here, just a little bit tighter alignment, and he's going to go up against the center. And the other thing I like too is like he's obviously lined up inside shade with the guard here, so his initial focus is going to be on the guard. But once he recognizes that the protection scheme or the center is turning in his direction, he takes his focus back to the center and then beats him across his face. And this is the other thing too is like you can see how like his quickness and agility for a dude that's almost 30 years old and like 310 pounds, like he moves pretty well, which is part of what makes him so unique. Still don't know how Jordan Love completes this pass, but again,
he hit his arm too, dog.
There are a few throws like that. This was a hell of a game from Jordan Love, but that's for another day.
Go ahead.
But yeah, this one we're gonna see a similar move again, just to the outside. I mean, I think that's Alex Cap, I believe, from the Bengals. I mean, like he barely even touches him to get the clean win around the edge. We'll see this again later, but the Bengals got so pissed off with him disrupting that they put Drew Sample in the backfield and had him basically double team Chris Jones for the rest of the game. The other thing I wanted to point out too is like this is part of what makes Chris Jones special. Right here, like you see how he gets his hips pretty much perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. That's a big part of what helps him get that clean win. And again, pretty impressive for a dude that's his age and his size. Going a little bit more towards those use of hands here. I know he falls over, so this one's not as clean of a win. But what I wanted to pause it was right. I just missed it. Right about here. Love that little move to get that inside handoff and like be able to get that win against Orlando Brown Jr., former teammate. And obviously pretty good left tackle. So again, the use of hands, like you can see how he's a veteran and how he can like beat the hands, beat the man, whether that be before or after contact. Pretty impressive from him.
Nice play by Jake Browning, man.
I know. Jake Browning had a few nice scrambles in this game. He can play a little bit. All right, so this one's actually my favorite of the bunch. Let's see here. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, this is right here. If you're the offensive lineman, this is the international sign of my bad. When you're turned, looking at your quarterback like, ooh, yeah, I got beat. And again, same kind of thing. Like this was his big move, right? This is Chris Jones' best move, where he starts outside, works the hands on the inside, flips those hips around, and we go get a clean sack. That's how he gets most of his pressures, excuse me. And yeah, pretty nimble for a dude that is his size and his age. Moving on to a little bit of his power as a rusher. I mean, he's not going to get the clean win here, but again, we see a little bit more of the strength. Uses a rip move this time. And the other thing I like too that you might notice is he always finds a way to get himself to square. Right now, he's got a two-way go. Jenkins doesn't know what he's going to be able to do. He can go outside, he can go inside. Ends up winning with this nice rip move. And the other thing too, we'll notice this on a few more clips. He keeps his feet constantly moving through contact and is able to get to hit home, get the pressure. Nice play by there. I think that was McDuffie, but similar situation. Get a little slide pro to his side again. Now, the other thing, and we know this well as Raider fans, is that slide pro left, but the right guard is actually going to step with his right foot first to make sure that he can kind of help on Jones with that post arm and double team him to a little bit, or 1.5 times team him, I like to call it. But again, shifts his focus then to the guard. See a little bit right there too. Gets his hands back inside. Back that up a little bit. Watch him. Chris Jones is going to take that hand, get it inside again.
Nice.
That power, and the power that he has is pretty apparent, especially as a rusher. Another reason why I think he can be a little bit better on rundowns when his efforts there. And I absolutely love Jordan Love here, just taking a seat.
It's old Peyton Manning trick, bro. Old Peyton Manning trick, right?
Oh yeah. Don't take a hit. You know you're gonna get sacked anyway. I think it was a situation too where like they could a field goal didn't kill him. But all right, last clip we got here. I mean, this is what I was talking about earlier. Like this one was even more obvious than the last one. Again, we got Drew Sample, a tight end, a good blocking tight end at that, out in the backfield because he's just killing the Bengals. Chris Jones was killing the Bengals all night. I mean, again, like just at no point does Kappa ever have control of that rep and needs the tight end's help on him. So that's kind of the part that really intrigues you about Chris Jones is not only is he the guy that can win with finesse, guy that can move pretty well for his age and size, but he's got some impressive power too. Definitely a savvy veteran pass rusher. Again, not going to be a guy that's going to make a ton of plays against the run for you, but that's not what you sign him for. And I mean, him and Max Crosby on the same D line would be pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you talk about his effort there, and because he didn't play like that in Super Bowl against the run. He was dominating against the run in the Super Bowl, and that's the thing with effort. You kind of talk about how the Chiefs, when they lost to the Raiders, they kind of got woken up a little bit, and I think that was one of those kind of things, was kind of showing that effort and kind of actually trying to play the run, because the Packers, they went in there and they beat them by running the football, and the Raiders went in there and beat them by running the football. But the best team that was running football in the league, those dudes came to play, and they looked like they were, you know what I mean? So obviously Chris Jones can stop the run. He's like Michael Parsons, who doesn't care to. And but that's that's a different conversation. But
and like I said, there was a clear difference between like him in the first half of the game, like where it was like he was just like I'm really not gonna try on first and second down, and then towards the end of the game when it started to matter a little bit more, he definitely played with a little bit more attitude, a little more fire, and his get off and all that stuff. And I mean, if you notice, like the Chiefs this year, like there were at least like 1 to 2 drives, maybe even more a game where like they would just take him out and not play him until third down. Like, I don't know if that was, again, because of his age and because he's getting older or because he missed training camp and whatnot. But yeah, like he conserves energy, let's say that, on early downs for those passing situations. He knows he's in there to get the sacks and pressures.
Well, he saved it all for the Super Bowl because the Niners could not run to his side. I saw some stat they had 15 carries for 70 yards to the left side. To the right side, it was like some it was like negative yards, or like basically they have more carries than they had yards to the right side. So he can play the run. That's kind of funny seeing that effort, and just watching some of the Super Bowl film that I've seen and how he was just dominating first to run in that game. Come on, man. You gotta. So what is he gonna do? You know what I mean? Like we need that effort like all the time, but you know, he was saving it for the Super Bowl. That's who he was saving it for, the Christian McCaffrey, I guess. So. All right, man. Any other thoughts on Chris Jones? I mean, he's gonna be very expensive, but he is up there in age, so I think him asking for 30 million is a little crazy. I do think that.
And that's, I think, part of the thing that scares me about him is like, all right, you're gonna give this guy 30 million, and you're for at least half the game, you're not gonna get anything from him on first and second down, and you're gonna like just basically hope that he's good enough as a pass rusher that, you know, it doesn't matter. Like that's where I kind of get a little weary. It's like, man, you're really gonna give 30 million for a guy who at this point in his career is trending towards being more of like a situational player, or at least that's the way he was kind of using this past year. But that's where I get a little apprehensive of, yes, I know Chris Jones would be a good name that obviously we'd all be stoked about, but I almost worry about it being a little bit of like a Chandler Jones situation where like you're getting a guy that is on the downswing of his career. And Chandler Jones, one of his issues coming from Arizona, like when the Raiders signed him, was he wasn't great against the run anymore and wasn't quite as explosive. So that's where I kind of get a little weary of handing Chris Jones this big paycheck, but they need it. That's for sure. And it's a big enough need that I think he can change their pass rush enough that they might almost have to do it, just hopefully on a short-term deal that they can get out of in case things do go bad.
Yeah, I mean, because a main thing with it is just, you know, I mean, watching the pass rush. I mean, always the pass rush is still there. Is just, you know, do we get that full effort from him? You know, the Super Bowl effort. We need that every game. If he came and did that every game, then I mean, 100% that's 30 million. But if he's not going to do that, then this could be super interesting. And just it's the years too. How many years do you give him? You know what I mean? It's those type of things. You know, when you think about the age, because he is a little bit of an older player, and we'll see how that goes, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So let's get to the younger guy, the more young guy. I think Lloyd Cushenberry. What's his age? He is born in 1997, so he's 26. So you know, there's some serious upside here. This for Cushenberry. So let's get into him right here. All right. So of course we're gonna start off with the run here. So Cushenberry, this is some clean tape. I'm gonna tell you right now, guys. This is clean. I'm not gonna say it's amazing, but it's damn clean. All right. So he is a clean center. He's solid. If you know, he is really a plug and play. I think the Raiders, if they went and they signed him, then he would upgrade this offensive line. So we'll check out some of these runs. So looks like a little bit of mid zone here on this one, but you see the movement he gets on Andrew Billing right there. And even though I think play strength isn't a strength for him, which is kind of funny I'm saying that, but you see him moving Billings because he has such good technique. So he is a little bit a technician here. See, he gets low, how low he gets right there with Billings, because Billings gets really low. So that's a good job by him, able to move that, create that hole inside. All right, so we get to this next one here. So I get some outside zone on this one. You see he's able to execute that reach block, create that hole in Billings again. You know, you're a Raiders fan, you know how good of a run defender Billings is. So look how low he is right there. This is like when you're on the scouting academy and you're doing a reach block. I mean, this is exactly what you describe it as right here. Exactly what he's doing. Great reach block.
His feet seals him from crossing his face.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's clean here. So, I mean, he's system diverse too. I mean, he's more of a zone system, but I mean, you have James Craig coming from the Shanahan system, even though they mix more power in than they usually do. I still think he's a good fit, and I think they're going to really like him. And that's somebody that could be an upgrade from Andre James here. So, see him here on this one. On the, I believe this is inside. So, I
think that was duo.
Was it? Okay. Yeah,
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, inside zone here. Right. So, inside zone here on this one. And you see how he's able to get to the second level there. And then you kind of see a little bit of other play strength issues there because he's not able to get too much push, but you just see how clean he is. I mean, he has this offensive line just in flow too, together. Like when we get the pass protection, it's going to look really nice, but
Yeah, I
just the
mean, I
way he
know he
sets
loses a
everything
little
up.
bit at the point of attack there, but to get that front side, the first level defender, and then go up and like be able to stay in front of the backer, like that's all you really need.
Yeah, exactly. There's on the toss. See him just get right in front of him right there and create that hole right there. This is what I really liked about this one. So I'm gonna go back here. See him just kind of set this up, get that block right there. And that's a good linebacker too, as well. Like I say, he's blocking some of the better players in the league and creating holes. I mean, he created that hole basically on that one. You see here now he's getting some push. You see how low he gets even on this double team. He's able to keep that leverage, keep the push, and allows Williams to keep pushing for a touchdown. Right. So even if I mean, that's a big dude, man. That he's going up against. You can see, even though he's like too much push, he's not losing that leverage. He's not getting the pancakes. As I'm saying, you're not gonna see like pancakes or anything, but you see just good, clean blocking. He's just clean.
Looks like he stays engaged pretty well too.
Yeah. Like you never see him like really get tossed or anything like that either.
Yeah.
So it's just clean, man. It's just some clean ass film. See him another toss play, just kind of just takes 92 completely out of the play. Dude just gives up. He's able to get in front of him here, flip his hips, hands inside. It's just everything's clean there. We get this nice run here by the Broncos. So here's another one on this one. This is outside, so I believe on this one. No, another toss. You see here, he's able to flip his hips again.
Yeah.
It's consistent, man. There, his block, his hand side, flip his hips. So you see his athleticism as a center. So when you create a center, that's what you like. You know, he's a little, probably like 6'2" or something like that. But he can flip his hips. He's athletic, and he's really a good fit for the zone system. So let's get to some pass protection here. See one more time. I mean, technique right there. Just clean, man, all the time. He's just a consistent center inside. I'm saying I feel like he'd be a complete upgrade from Andre James, and I don't think he'd be that expensive. I don't feel like he'd be more than like $8 million, just because he's a center and he's just not that known. He's not like a Pro Bowl or anything, but he's just a clean guy. He's like highly rated on PFF, up there, not highly rated, but he's like top 12 centers and overall. So he's a good player. See him here, and then I just like how the offensive line too, and I think he has a lot of this. The communication that they had, they really didn't make a lot of mistakes for stunts or anything like that. He's able to keep them in line.
Yeah.
Allows Russell Wilson to make a great throw downfield there. I'm saying he slides to the right guy every single time. It's just clean. like his big issue is play strength, but he's just so clean, man.
Yeah.
You see him here once again. Good pad level. And then he gets a little help from inside. And all these guys, like, and that's the thing with this whole offensive line. You never really saw them out of whack or anything like that or making mistakes. And a lot of that is because he's a center and he's setting everything up. So that's what I really like when I was watching him. Is how he was getting things done inside like that. So here he is 101 verse 92. And I like how he gets his hands back inside here. He's able to fight, get that good anchor there and get his hands back inside, and then he's able to get some help. Russ allowed to get rid of it. So, I mean, this is a cheap upgrade that could upgrade this whole offensive line, and I think that connection with James Craig is huge here. See him on this one. It's like I said, he always slides to the right side, helps the right guy. So I don't know how Russell Wilson got sacked 50 times. That's why Russell's just Russ. I don't. You watch that? Like, how did you get sacked 50 times, my dude?
Yeah.
Look at that, man. He's just. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I guess when you have the tight end block a defensive lineman, that might help. That doesn't help.
Yeah, a little bit. But you see what Cushenberry is doing, man. He is just dominating over there. So, and this was his bad game. This is one of his bad games here. We'll see a little bit of it. But here he is against a stunt. So they're trying to run a stunt here. See, he even gets caught leaning a little bit here, but he's still able to control. And this is what I'm talking about, the offensive line being so great in communication, because watch 74 here. He's able to come help him. Damn, and they're able to give these great pockets. Look at Wilson just running around at all the time. But that was an awesome pocket for him, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these things are, watch him pick up these stunts is pretty consistent here. Here's another one. All right, he knows exactly what side to go to, who needs help, exactly where to slide. It's like he helps it. So 77 real quick here. Billings, then he comes over here. I mean, everything's clean. And then look at the pocket that Russell Wilson has. Russell Wilson has enough time. I mean, I don't know if Jerry Drew's wide open there. I really didn't look. We see him here on this one too. Here's another stunt. He picks up. Knows exactly. You can watch it. Show it from the other side here. All right, comes to that side. He sees this guy coming already, right? He does a great job of recognizing these things because his mental processing is so high. That's what I really like about him. You see how high his mental processing is. He's able to pick up that stunt, give Russell Wilson plenty of time to throw a strike to correlate stunt. And just watching this, right? The Raiders have been so shitty. I got to say that shitty against stunts. Watching him is just like it would just be crazy, like Parham, Miller, they would work so well together, I believe, right? And I think that's one of the things that kind of when they hired Craig, I was like, okay, this works. But you'll see here when I talk about play strength, now he's going against one of the better interior pass rushers in the league, Christian Barmore, right? And he's fighting for his life here. You see he's fighting with his hands, but he just can't. There's nothing he really can do about it because I think he just has some play strength issues. He does. But centers don't get too many one-on-ones, and just how he is with communication. That's what I mean. He's a leaner guy. It's not something that I'm gonna harp on too much. But that's one thing I did notice about him, like why he's not like a superstar center. You see it here again. He's trying to hold Barmore there a little bit. He's trying to help 77 here, and Barmore kind of just overpowers it a little bit.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was one of my takeaways from him watching him at LSU was good athlete, moves well to seal guys off and whatnot, but not the strongest dude in the world, which is why I wasn't as hyped about him coming out of LSU.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's exactly what you see on film too, man. So, same exact stuff. All right, guys. So, I mean, yeah, that's Lloyd Cushenberry. Lloyd Cushenberry. So I really do like his film, though. I think he's a huge upgrade over Andre James. He's cheap, and there's that connection with James Craig. He can come in here, man, solidify the offensive line. They don't have to try to, that's what I'm saying. They do these type of things in free agency. They bring in a Cushenberry, and maybe they even figure out a way to get Dotson. They get Dotson and Cushenberry. Then they have we can trade up because then we have the offensive line kind of solidified a little bit. We can find a right tackle in the second round with these tackles. This right tackles class is nuts. So I think you can find a good tackle in the second round, early second, if they don't give that up trading up, but that's, I guess that's part of it a
I
little
was
bit.
gonna say that's the only problem is if you're trading up, you're probably gonna have to get rid of that second round pick, but who knows? I mean,
Yeah, maybe, but that's what I'm saying. That's why free agency is very key to the Raiders trading up to get in the quarterback. Because if that's their plan, then they got to really with the offensive line too. Because I think like guys like Kevin Dotson, guys like Lloyd Cushenberry, they won't be too expensive. Where you can bring those guys in and build this offensive line up a lot. And Dotson's not the greatest pass protector like we covered before, but Cushenberry, I just think he would have that line. There would be a lot more veterans surrounded by Colton Miller, who's just an absolute stud. So yeah, I really like this guy a lot.
yeah, I mean, if you get Cushenberry at center and then Dotson, and if you get those two guys in free agency, like throw Thayer Munford at right tackle, and you don't even have to worry about drafting an offensive lineman. I mean, no, Munford's not a sure thing or anything like that, but
Yeah,
like you said, you'd have more flexibility to be able to trade up and maybe go get your quarterback if you can land two guys who you're confident in being good starters for next season and beyond. So
yeah. Because I think you can get Dotson on a longer deal, just because he had a breakout year. I don't know what the Rams. I know the Rams are really trying to bring him back, but that's somebody that they could look to for sure. And I think Cushenberry, just that connection with Craig. I mean, he'll probably want to come here because of that. And yeah. I think that would be like I said, that would make the offensive line upgrade immediately, in my opinion, because it's just the way the Broncos are playing together, man. They just flowed so well together. I'm, watching the Raiders offensive line with Andre James for the past couple of years, and they just look so, just out of whack most of the time. And watching that, it was just kind of refreshing. So
yeah, I mean, like one of those stunts you were showing too. Like I was wondering, I'm like, do they have like a code word or communication, or was that just like instincts that he like could see what was going on because he like almost anticipated the pick player, the penetrator, like coming right away and was like able to take him on and be in a better position to one, overcome his lack of strength, and two, I mean, like you said, I think that if it is communication or if it is him anticipating, I think it works well in his favor because, like you said, usually the center's the one of the quarterback of the offensive line that's setting that stuff up, and the fact he was able to help get all those guys on the same page and be able to pick it up and hit the ground running is impressive. And Broncos had, I guess, Miners was a starter the year before, and but like some changes up front, and they were in sync most of the time. So that's a testament to him a little bit too.
Yeah, and that also showed me that Russell Wilson, he just takes 50 sacks a year. I mean, it's just gonna happen. It's just that's just what he did. He had this one sack against the Patriots, and I was gonna try to show this when I did his breakdown, but he's like, he's out of nowhere. He just started like running around in a circle. What are you doing, bro?
Good old Russ.
Oh man, Caleb does that stuff too, but like Caleb's younger, so it's like. He could actually still make guys miss like that.
He can do that and still make guys miss. Russell's not quite as quick and agile as he used to be.
He was just running around in a circle, like trying to make guys miss. And then he got sacked. It was like, nope, that's not gonna work, Russ. You got to throw the ball. 35. But it's just funny. But yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. So they can fix the offensive line really quick in free agency too. But it really is a good offensive line class. So that's going to be a big part of them moving up is free agency and see how they do there, man. Let's see how they get it done. All right, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Any last thoughts, man, on anything else? I don't know. There's really nothing else for us to. It's a dead week,
man. Like you said, been a quieter week, which is kind of nice for us at least to calm down after some of the calamity. We don't have the OC getting hired and then not hired 2 days later or anything like that, and running around. But yeah. A little bit of the calm before the storm, because once the combine starts hitting and the booze starts flowing and people start talking a little bit more, we get the rumors and all that good stuff. So calm before the storm.
The rumors start flying, the trades start getting negotiated. Because the Raiders do have to worry about the Falcons and the Vikings trying to trade up.
Yeah,
and the Broncos, and the Broncos too. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. All right, we're out of here, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Chris Jones and Lloyd Cushenberry. Like I said, we'll be back Friday, I'll do Friday Night Live with Glenn. We're gonna do something like that, and then of course this weekend we're gonna do more draft stuff. So it's draft season. Like I said, you'd also check out. We got Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy. See, what the thing with the draft guys is that these things like last. It's not like the season where it's like a week 2 thing. You don't want to go back to week 2 and relive that loss. You could just watch these videos. You could share it constantly. It will last all the way to April and probably all the way till August, to be honest. So a lot of these,
just put it on a loop while you sleep. Just keep your computer up so get those views for us. Run up the numbers a little bit.
That too. So if it's your first time here, those videos are never old. Check out all the breakdowns and scouting reports. We did it. So we got the Senior Bowl ones too. So check those out. And around here, guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Peace.